Hey there, and welcome to Hope Unscripted, a podcast of Hope Cancer Resources. I'm Jamie Dietrich.
And I'm Brittany Harmon, and we're so glad you're here.
Now let's talk about hope, healing, and the journey
Unscripted. Welcome back to Hope Unscripted, a podcast of Hope Cancer Resources. We're here today with the fabulous Nicole Foote and Brittany Harmon as my co-host. And just want to preface with a little disclaimer for today. Today's content might be just a bit graphic. We're going to dive into some of the symptoms or more specifically side effects of cancer that you may or may not know about. And Nicole's going to help us out with that. So with that, Brittany, do you have anything you want to add?
Going to say our last episode about chemo brain, even having that conversation, we did realize there's so many other side effects that people don't talk about on a daily basis because they can be awkward or embarrassing or frustrating. And we don't want people to feel like you're going through that alone. So Nicole is going to share some of her side effects with us and go from there. So let's roll.
Okay, let's do it. Well, Nicole, oftentimes when we think of I've been diagnosed with cancer and things that come to mind, right?
Yeah.
Fatigue and hair loss. And are kind of some of the most most specific. Maybe nausea is another one that I hear a lot.
Yeah.
So let's take that and build. And I'm just going to turn you loose.
Oh boy. I'm going to preface this with saying I am not a medical expert. I am not a doctor. Although if I was a doctor, I'd be Dr. Foote, which would be kind of And these are the things I experience, right? Like, as I've talked to a lot of people that have been through various different types of cancer, everyone's journey is different. And so today is just what I experienced. And I made myself a note of the top things that I don't think people realize, but joint pain, touching of the skin, so like sensitivity to skin, nose hairs. I want to talk about the importance of your nose hairs and how you don't realize that until you go through it. Brain fog. I thought the episode on brain fog was so spot on. Mouth sores, cramping, and pooping would be the things. Those would be the 7 that I would kind of bundle up as things that people don't think about the most.
Okay. I didn't know you made us a list.
I was out in Nashville with Mom, and I was like, what we got to do? We got to start writing things down because I didn't want to forget.
No, that's part of the brain fog thing.
That's exactly
part of it. Just write it down.
Yep.
Write it down so you don't forget. Was there ever a time during some of these symptoms you're like, surely this is not normal?
Yes. And I feel like a 12-year-old boy sometimes when I talk about pooping because I just kind of start laughing.
It's funny.
It's not funny. It's not the thing you walk up and you're just like, girlfriends, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But that was one for me where I was like, there is no way in any world that this is normal.
Yeah.
When you're going through chemo and even after chemo, that your body continues. You eat, you poop. You eat, you poop, and it doesn't. It doesn't seem to have a time of day or a number of times a day. It happens.
It's gonna happen.
And it happens at times where you cannot necessarily control the urge, and so you find yourself like running to the restroom. And again, that's not stuff you just sitting at table mesa with your girlfriends. You don't bring up as a conversation starter. So
you don't talk about that over cocktails.
No. We don't go to Loma for happy hour and talk about our bowel movements at the rate of which
you're a boy, and so poop is just a normal conversation in the house at this point.
Exactly.
I get the funny
exactly. So it's kind of turned into a little bit of a joke and something, quite frankly, that I'm way more comfortable talking about than I ever was. Yeah. Like, I never was the girl that would talk about it, and now it's like, guys, look, I gotta go, and it's like, here we go again. So I think that's definitely one of the biggest ones that I didn't realize. I didn't realize that skin sensitivity would be something that would continue for so long. At night, in particular, for me, it still is really bad. I sleep with a sheet between my legs because I can't stand for my legs to touch at night. When they do touch, it creates this massive burning sensation.
And it's all over your body. It's targeted.
Yeah, it's all over. So like, even if I lay with my arm, like right now is not as bad, but night is really bad. And so you'll often see, like, in meetings and stuff, I constantly am like moving my legs, and it's just because the sensitivity of the touch, skin to skin, sometimes creates a little discomfort.
Well, that's still, I'm sorry, but that's still today.
Still, yeah, and that's the part of it that, like, I just don't think, I don't think we do a good enough job talking about. It's like, just because you're done, just because you rang the bell, just because you walked away, just because you hit your 5-year mark, your body still hasn't flushed all the bad out. And so you still have those moments. I had really bad joint pain. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm going to break a bone. It hurts so bad. The joint pain's got better over the years, but it's still there. Like, my wrists are probably where I have it the worst. My wrist and my ankles. And it just aches.
Did you keep it to yourself, or did you get to the point where you were like, I have to talk to a doctor about this and try to understand what is physically causing this?
So the pooping front, I finally broke. Like, and it was actually because of Foote. He was like, we cannot continue to try to have vacations and drive places, and you constantly need a restroom. So I was very open, and there are, you know, obviously there's all kinds of drugs on the market that you can take, that can help. But they were very honest. They're like, this is just part of what you're going through. And it's going to take years for your body to flush things. And once things flush, it'll get better. So I just keep waiting for the day, you know, that things are fully flushed. We talked about the joint pain. And they gave me a cream that helps a little bit. But, you know, you get to that other side of it, and you don't want to take pills anymore. You don't want to take medicine. You just kind of want your body to figure things out. So we did talk about quite a bit of it.
Okay. So kind of backing up to the pooping.
Back to pooping.
Yes, back to pooping. So was it specific things you would eat? Is it everything you eat? And then kind of day-to-day life too? Like, you talked a little bit about that with travel, but you've mentioned to me before, like, you and your husband would go out to eat.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we've got to wait now because can't go home yet.
Yeah. No, the food doesn't matter. And trust me, I've tried. Like, I can go to McDonald's, or I can go to Cava, or wherever in the middle. It doesn't seem to matter. And it's just because of all the toxins that my body's experienced, and whatever it is that
clean eating.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
None of that matters.
None of that matters. No, it just kind of flushes.
Yeah,
literally flushes.
Literally flushes.
It literally just flushes right through.
Is that where the cramping comes from too?
That is. So, because it, you know, your body needs to retain so much, right? But yeah, the cramping, I have really bad cramps on my legs and my feet at night. And so a lot of that is from just the sodium not necessarily sticking within my body. So I do sometimes there's like this little sodium thing that you can buy over the counter. And sometimes if it's really bad, I'll take one of those, and that seems to kind of help.
You'll just take a shot of pickle juice.
Yeah, you know, I guess I could, but I'm too busy taking shots of other things to add pickle juice.
Might just be grandma's whole thing was just take a shot of pickle juice.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. Tell us about this nose hair situation.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah, I'm allowed to say
you lose your hair.
This is my
think about.
You would not listen. People shave those things because they like get it. They annoy. Yeah. But you don't think or know the importance of your dang nose hairs until they're not there anymore.
I have thought about losing them.
I, for about 2.5 years, I think it was, constantly had a runny nose and could not figure out why. I'm like, I'm not sick. And then I asked the doctor, and they're like, well, you don't have any nose hairs. I'm like,
no, I'm holding it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I guess that makes sense now. Like, there's nothing there to, like, stop it. So like, I was constantly, like, having to rub my nose or blow my nose. And I got a red dot at the like, on the tip from constantly rubbing it. And so I would joke that I was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for a while. But yeah, you just don't think. And, you know, people in that particular time of life, COVID was happening. And so nobody wants to be around somebody with a runny nose.
No.
Literally no one. And I'm like, I can't help it. Like, there's nothing. Your nose is running, you just don't know it.
Was it painful too? Like,
No.
I can think about, you know, just there's no way to stop a booger from coming out.
No, there's nothing stopping anything from coming out. If anything, Brittany, it tickled. Because it was like the trickle, you know, and sometimes it would tickle a little. But that was one for me. I was like, literally put this in a pamphlet. Like,
So
put this in a freaking pamphlet.
appreciate your nose hairs.
Appreciate those nose hairs more than you do today. You know, eyelashes, eyebrows, again, things you don't think about. It's all hair.
Yeah.
And it all goes away.
I've seen the eyelashes and eyebrows, but the nose hair is one thing I have literally never thought about. Yeah, I have to ask Anne because I don't know if she's ever talked about that. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, so I know we talked a little bit about your skin irritation. Do you have really bad dry skin also? Is that a constant problem?
So I did during radiation.
Okay.
And probably for like the 6 months after radiation. So the ladies at Highlands recommended a lotion, and they were like, you want to do this every like twice a day, especially as you go through your radiation, and then keep it afterwards. And so on my actual spot where the radiation was, for a long time, there was a nasty like red rash. That's gone away now. And I don't have a ton of dry, like I wouldn't say my skin is drier than what it normally was pre-cancer afterwards, but I credit it to the lotion that those ladies recommended.
Well, and your legs are very tan from your vacation.
Yeah.
That was one thing. I've heard of some people, they just don't tan afterwards. They just burn, and then it's just miserable.
So I don't tan as well as I once did. Like, I used to be able the girl that could sit on the beach for 8 hours a day and just be perfectly fine. And now I have to be much more cautious. Umbrella, I bring my sunscreen. I can sit there for maybe an hour. And after that, I layer up really good.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Dr. Boak, when we had her on, she said a lot of cancer patients don't realize you're at such an increased risk of skin cancer.
Yeah.
That because your skin changes so much. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
What about your nails?
Yeah. So going through the treatment, et cetera, they become very, very frail. And so like you've got beautiful nails, right?
All fake.
Okay. Well, you've got beautiful fake nails, both of you. But I keep mine cut really short because more often than not, they crack.
Yeah.
They're very brittle. Now collagen helps tremendously, right? And I take a lot of collagen throughout the course of the day, but very frail. I don't paint my nails a lot anymore for that reason. Just because, you know, I don't want to impact the nail bed, if you will. And so I keep them short. I saw a TikTok actually of Nikki Hilton the other day, and she was like, "I'm in my no nail polish era," and I was like, "That's what I need that to become a thing."
She'll turn it into
I'm excited for the no nail polish. Like, still go get your manicure, still get your pedicure, but let's embrace this no polish era. Yeah.
If we can do it, I just don't know. It's like a security blanket for me.
I get it.
Fake ones.
I get it.
That and I'm a biter. Oh, so do your fingernails hurt? Because I've heard that sometimes too. Like between the fingertips and like your nail beds having sensitivity.
No.
Any pain?
No, I wouldn't say I have pain, and I don't remember having that pain.
Okay.
Again, that's the crazy thing about this is like you can call 17 people and 17 people are going to tell you they had different things. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people are looking that like, well, if you experienced it, I'm going to experience it. Or like, why didn't you tell me I was going to experience this? And it truly is because it's different for everybody. And it's what's your body need at that moment or what's it going through. And then, you know, it's the maintenance that you're doing as well throughout that.
Yeah.
So no, thank goodness, no nail pain.
So you listed your 7.
Yeah.
Me and I did a little research.
Okay, you got more?
With a list of what we're calling weird side effects.
Okay.
So I'm going to read them off.
All right.
And then with some of them we talked about, but we'll dig in here. So food tasted different.
Yeah.
Water tasted strange.
Yeah.
Mouth sores, neuropathy, tingling fingers or toes, cold sensitivity, muscle cramps, dry mouth, ringing in your ears, and hair growing back differently. So you pick where we want to dive into this one.
Well, we can do bottom up. So my hair came back completely different. I always had very blonde, like the blonde color that women want.
That pay for.
Yeah, but I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I also had very straight hair, very thin hair. I'll have to find a picture you guys can use. It came back as a poof ball. Like my mom and dad called me their little poof ball because it was like just this fuzzy mess. And I loved it, but it was also very textured. And huge shout out to Rex he's the owner of Capital
Rex.
Yeah, he's the owner over at Capital Saloons. But he helped me get my hair back. Like he was very patient with it. He explained to me how it's when the baby hairs grow, they just kind of don't know what to do. And so we went through that. And I remember sitting in his chair over at the Rogers salon the day he was like, okay, we finally are through all the baby hair. And like, now this is going to be your hair. And now it's much fuller. It
looks so thick.
It is. Trust me, it's much thicker than what it was. It requires more maintenance, which I don't know that I love. Rex loves it. He does a terrific job with it. He keeps it in control. But yeah, the hair is completely different. Okay. The other one was cold.
Ringing in your ears?
No, I don't think I had much ringing in the ears. Let's bounce to the cold.
Cold sensitivity.
Yeah, so no. I have zero cold sensitivity because I was forced into premenopause and then menopause. And let me pause and say, hug your mama, ladies, because if you're not there yet, you will gain a totally new appreciation for what women go through. And I love that it's a topic of conversation now. Like we are talking about premenopause and menopause at the way we are in the world. It's not fun. I used to love the heat. The heat was my jam. Like, give me the weather we're having right now in Northwest Arkansas all day. Now, I want to move to Montana. Yeah. I want to live in the highest mountain. I want it to be too. Yeah. The heat is just really, really hard now. I don't have. I would love to be cold. I get excited when I am cold. So I didn't have that, but the menopause side effects they're real.
Yeah.
You know, and we went through a stint. Probably about 8 months where every single morning I was changing our sheets because I sweat so much with the hot flashes. Sitting in meetings and you can feel it building on your face. Super uncomfortable in that space.
Do you worry or have you struggled with heat exhaustion now that it is hot outside and going on?
Not yet, but that's because I try really, really hard to not spend extended periods of time. So years ago, when my parents had their 40th wedding anniversary, we threw them a party, and I was like on teetering to having heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
And so I kind of know like where my limit is, and so I try really hard not to get there.
Well, once you have that once and hit that heat exhaustion, it comes back so much easier too, and you can really put permanent damage on your body. So yeah.
So I try really, really hard to limit my time outside. You know, like we've got a pool party on Saturday, and I'll be in the pool for a while, and I'll be inside for a while, and I'll go back and forth. And people don't pick up on it, but it's because it's what I need to do.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Now you mentioned on your list mouth sores, and that's on my list too.
Mouth sores
into that.
Mouth sores are painful, man.
It's brutal.
The best way to describe a mouth sore would be think about getting a cold sore on your lip, but put it on your tongue or the side of your cheek or the upper part of your mouth or under your tongue.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then it's a fascination of what's that?
Yeah.
Like, can I pop it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to go away? And you can put a Breva, but then that's like disgusting. And so I had a really hard time with mouth sores. We used the mouthwash that helped so they didn't get infected and things like that. But there was no rhyme or reason to them. Honestly, if there's one side effect that was the worst, it was probably the mouth sores. And that was because then you can talk, but you're in pain, and you can eat, but you're not enjoying what you're eating.
Yeah.
So the mouth sores were really bad.
So I've heard a few people request children's toothpaste because they can tolerate it much easier than normal adult Crest or whatever people use. So was that the case for you too?
I don't remember using kid toothpaste. I must have missed the memo on that. I've heard that's
I just heard that recently.
Yeah,
Patient. So.
Yeah, so maybe it does work. Hopefully no more mouth sores in my future.
And I've heard it too for the tooth sensitivity too. The children's toothpaste is just a little bit easier. Because sometimes the adults, I'm guilty. I mean, you get those whitening ones and you can burn the inside of your mouth if you're not careful. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What's with the water tasting strange? I've heard the food, and that one made more sense to me, but the water is interesting.
I don't know what it was, but I had that water. It actually everything.
Yeah.
I grabbed a Lifesaver coming in, and even Lifesavers tasted different. Like I went through a lot of peppermint Lifesavers, and ginger candy because that helps with the nausea. But everything just tasted different. Different. In that vein, what became my go-to, what became my thing was ice cream.
Yeah.
Ice cream. And now I dream about ice cream. I think about ice cream, and I go through a lot of ice cream. Brett laughs because I'm always like, hey, let's go to Sam's in Springdale and then we can stuff my handles on the drive back up. Like,
what's your favorite ice cream?
I am a sucker for that orange dreamsicle they have. But also all ice cream is equal in my mind. Just give me the ice cream.
Yeah.
So through chemo, I went through a lot of ice cream. Like it was the one thing because I think it was the cold.
Yeah.
So it helped any of the sores in my mouth. And it just, I don't know, wildly enough for me, it felt like it settled better than a full-on meal.
What was the one symptom like we've talked about, and was there one specific you were like, no one could have gone down to me about this and I would have believed it?
Probably, honestly, the pooping.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely transparent with you, I think that too. I think I could sit in a room full of professional experts in this space, and I would never in my life believe that your body at some point doesn't revert back to the ability to process food in a normalized way. And again, there are pills you can take, and kudos to people that choose to do that. But it still just comes right back.
So we talked about pooping a lot. Was there anything with urination in that too?
No, I wouldn't say anything in that space. It truly is more
it's just your body.
It's your body flushing it out. Kick it, flushing nonstop. Shout out to Sherman. Yeah, no.
I have a random question.
Okay.
So earlier you talked about you take collagen and it helps with your nails and your skin. Are there any other supplements? And again, not medical advice, just you specifically that maybe helped you?
Yeah, so collagen was a definitely a big one. Yeah. I also take fish oil.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of positive benefits from that. For my joints and stuff. And then I also take, what is it? It's like it's an actual joint osteo something maybe. Okay. But it's this massive white pill,
like a glucosamine.
That's it.
Something
that kind of helps just with your joints, muscles, etc., like rebuilding those parts.
Yeah.
And that's really it. I tried to focus. I try to stay hydrated. That's important. But I try not to swing too hard to liquid IV because while I love liquid IV, like you shouldn't drink it in every drink.
Yeah.
So finding that balance there, but I've had a lot of success with those types of things. I have not found anything that really, I would shout from the rooftops helps with the hot flashes. And there's nothing that eliminates mouth sores that I've found or at that time would eliminate them.
Do you still have mouth sores pop up from time to time?
Nope.
Good.
Nope.
So one more down.
Since I finished chemo, that one's gone away.
During that time. Okay. So we're talking about fatigue now too. Like everybody gets tired, right?
Yeah.
But that's an intense fatigue.
Yeah.
How quickly does it set on when you're doing things? And is that something you still struggle with?
I definitely still struggle with the fatigue. I think I've got really good at hiding it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to not be good at hiding it. I'm trying to as I tell my story and try to bring others along, I'm trying to get better at saying, I'm tired. I just need to sit or say no to things. You guys know I struggle to say no to anything.
You don't say no hardly.
So I'm trying to get better to that. But yeah, sometimes the simplest of tasks, especially through chemo and radiation, the simplest of tasks would just exhaust me. And for work, we would have these big national sales meetings or conferences and conventions and things. And I would just have to go to bed or sit more than what I normally would. And even now, I need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And I need it because that's the only way that I can truly power through the next day, physically, mentally, emotionally. It all takes a massive toll. So the fatigue is a huge thing. The other huge thing is just, and I mentioned this last time, is just the heart rate. right? So my heart rate is out of this world. And I have to know when to stop. And, the amazing thing about the coaches and the members over at Dual Cities is they get it, right? And so it's not like it's a thing. It's not like, oh, Nicole's slacking off. It's like, no, her heart rate's like 189 right now, folks. She needs to catch her breath. Like she'll be back, but just give her a minute. Yeah.
What 89 feels like.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. I won't lie.
When I push myself, like working out, whether it be strength training or recently I decided to run. I don't know why, but that was, she got a wild hair.
One of those wild things I did.
But I only got my heart rate up to like 173.
Yeah.
And I felt like, okay, I'm going to take a break and let it come down and then go on. So I can't imagine.
Yeah. And a lot of people, it's easy to say, well, just control your heart rate. I would love to. Wish I could. I would absolutely love for someone to tell me how to keep my heart rate while I'm working out at the same as what it is right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But within that, I've learned how to embrace the discomfort. And I think that being able to embrace that discomfort is helping me. I tell myself it's helping me for the long term, right? So when I'm 55, I can embrace things like that a little differently. And when I'm 60, I can embrace it because I've weathered that heart rate journey, if you will.
So our last podcast episode, we had Shauna, that's our lead counselor at Hope Cancer Resources, on, and we talked about chemo brain and how it's not just patients going through chemo and kind of what that means, and really overarching just about the brain fog. I know you mentioned that too. So I'd love to hear from someone who's been through it, kind of your experience with that, what you did to kind of help and combat it in a way.
Yeah, I remember early on, I had a complete and utter breakdown because I had always been the person I could read an email, I could read a deck, I could read a text, I could join a meeting, I could pick it up, I remembered it, and people would make fun of me. They're like, how do you absorb all this? And I remember early on sitting in a meeting and like repeating things that had already been said. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't remember anything. And then you fast forward and you add in the menopause piece of it, right? And menopause does that, just so you know, you got the brain fog coming with that as well. So prepare yourself.
Look forward to.
Yeah. Here to bring that positive energy for you ladies today. But it's wild. It is, you hear the stories of your mom where it's like, I walked in the kitchen, but I can't remember what I walked in here for. And you're like, oh, it's just your age. No, like I have those moments. Like I literally will walk from our bedroom to our dining room and stare at Brett, and I'm like,
it's gonna come. Hold on just a second. Yeah.
And then it's like you run your brain back through. I haven't figured out how to stop for those moments, but I take a lot more notes. I write things down a lot. I send myself a ton of emails. Like if I walk out of here and Jamie, you're like, hey, I need to talk to you next Friday. Let's find time. And it's on me to find time. I will send myself an email and say, find time with Jamie. Yeah. And I've learned I got to be a little more detailed because even sometimes I can't re-jog my brain back to, on what the heck does this mean? Like, what's Jamie? What's Jamie want with me on Friday? Are we having lunch? And so that's become a pretty big part and something I'm still today having to navigate through. I could sit on calls all day long and, I have to go back to my notes and just be like, okay, these are the things, the dots that connected much easier in the past don't connect as well now. And they sure did not connect during when I was actually in the throbs of chemo.
So it was worse then for sure, and it's getting a little better.
I'd say it's getting a little bit better, but it's still there. I mean, it's still, it is still very much a challenge. My mom, we were in Nashville for the Alan Jackson show this weekend, and there was a couple times where she repeated herself. And, in the past, I would have been like, you just said that. But you gain a new respect. Because I'm like, crap, I repeat myself all the time.
It's not bad now. Like, I tell my mom all the time, like, you've already told me that 3 times.
Right. And maybe she did, but chances are she really just didn't remember. And you're going to be there. You're going to be there. You're going to be there. And so, it's going to be your turn. So I try really hard not to say, you've told me that, and to have a little more grace in that space.
So we are at the point we need to wrap up. And so thinking about encouraging others to speak up, whether it's contacting their doctor or talking through some of these side effects or, symptoms,
what's your encouragement behind that, and just any final words or things that you would like to share?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it comes down to you have to tell your story in the way you want to tell your story. But within that, you need to know that there is an entire world of people that's most likely going through the same exact thing. And I go back to the pooping example, right? Like, I was never comfortable talking about it. Now I'll talk with you all day about poop.
The book, Everybody Poops for Little Kids.
Everybody
make one for
We should. That's a good idea. Everybody poops when on chemo. Might be different, but everybody does. And so I think it's just, know that you're not, while it feels like you're in it alone and your body's changing, you're going through all these different things, you're really not. And it's okay to get outside of your comfort zone. It's okay to find that community or that resource that's willing to sit and listen and provide guidance and help you as you figure out what your new norm is. Because that's what it is. You're figuring out a new norm for your life. And that looks differently for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, Nicole, thank you for coming back.
Of course.
We had her on here a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And now we got her back. So very, very thankful for you sharing. I know it's hard to open up, and for a lot of people would be way too embarrassed to have these real conversations. And that's what Hope Unscripted is about. And so we appreciate that. To all of our listeners, we hope today was not too graphic for you, but that you can take something away from that and know that you're not alone. And I think that's the most important thing. And Brittany, I'll let you close us out.
We just appreciate everybody listening in. And again, you are not alone in this. Everybody does poop, and it's okay. And if something resonated with you today and you're interested in learning more about what Hope Cancer Resources does, you can visit hopecancerresources.org and listen in next time.
Thanks so much for listening to Hope Unscripted.
Join us next time as we share real stories, meaningful resources, and reminders that you're not alone.
Until then, keep choosing hope.